Hello, my name is Danny O'Brien. I'm from New York City. This is a 2001 Thomas Freightliner, 38 feet long. It has a 5.9 Cummins engine. I've been living in my bus for about 6 months. I've been on the road for a little over a month. Come on in for a tour. When you first enter the living area, I brought as many books as I could. It was one of the challenges for the build, was to make room and also bookshelves strong enough to hold them while I'm on the road, but we managed to do that. We put a lot of this natural kind of pallet wood on the walls. It's throughout the whole bus. I have about an 8-foot couch here. And part of it is it will open out, and I have another cushion, and it makes about a full-size bed. Underneath it are 2 drawers where I have all kinds of art supplies and things stashed. This side I decided to make another shelf here for lots of office supplies and maps and things like that, and more books. I have a printer. This is my skateboard from New York City that I used to ride every once in a while to my clients, and I decided to bring it aboard. I didn't know where I'd put it, and it ended up here, and it's kind of cool because I can hang my jackets on it now, and I can also take it off and ride it. Having spent the last 33 years in New York City, I'm kind of headed for quieter places. I love nature and have always been a camper, and I have a young son. He's actually 23 now, but every year of his life since before he could walk, we were out in the woods camping, and I grew up camping. So I'm kind of returning to that, and this bus is really giving me great access to beautiful places. On the other side is a table that I've had in my life for many years. It was my desk that I'd work at and do lots of projects, and I had to cut about 8 inches off of it so that it would fold flat against the wall. Underneath it is the bench that goes with it, and this table I can actually pull off the wall and move to the middle of the room and put 2 more legs on. And then the lamp here will string up across beneath the fan and hang directly over the table, and I can seat about 6 people around the table, which is pretty impressive. It's tight, but it works. After the build was complete in North Carolina, I drove to Florida to do a little business, driver's license and things like that, and then drove all the way up to Maine, to my cousin's farm in Maine, and spent the beginning of winter in Maine, and there was a lot of snow and very cold, and I'm so happy that I have this dwarf 4K wood stove. It basically kept me alive in Maine, and I would sleep on the couch in here in the really cold nights right in front of the fire. It was actually cozy, but a little scary. So moving deeper into the bus, I have a pantry space here, lots of room for storage for my food. There's an open shelf here with my spices and oils and things like that. I have a cover that I'm making eventually. It's basically a coffee burlap bag that I'm going to unroll. It's very beautiful, and that will help protect all that stuff from the fire in the winter months. Further on, I mean, this is probably the best kitchen I've had in my life, actually. The most counter space I've ever had. It's a nice red oak countertop. All kinds of storage in this kitchen. I'm still finishing details like the curtains and like the drawer handles for these drawers. A lot of people think this is an induction top, but it's not. It's actually propane gas. I'm a bread baker, so I had to have my oven, and I have a nice deep sink. a Berkey water filter to filter my water. I wanted to keep it open in here, so I didn't enclose the shelving. I left it all open with baskets, and I can move everything around. And surprisingly enough, everything's pretty much stays put, except for things like the mirror, which taught me that I need to put that down. I have the refrigerator, which is a winter refrigerator. There's a big handle I have prepared for that also, but it can be refrigerator on both sides, or this side here can also be a freezer, but right now they're refrigerator. One of the design issues for me was I wanted to create separate rooms. I wanted to have a living area and a distinct kitchen. So this block here in the middle that kind of creates this flow becomes all storage. I have lots of storage in this. This goes about 2 feet back. More pantries, my bathroom supplies, and some storage containers and things. And then in here, this is a very deep closet. I have hanging all the way across, and then in the back behind the hanging clothes are 12-inch shelves. And then these drawers are 3 feet deep. I have 2 very deep drawers, summer and winter, in case you're wondering how I do my changeover. The hole into the bedroom through the wall is like a pass-through, but also it serves a function. I can close this on cold mornings and start a fire in the wood stove, and then I open my bathroom door and the heat will actually go straight into the bathroom, so I have a nice warm environment to take a shower, because it does get pretty chilly in here sometimes. The bathroom is it's red cedar. I stepped down off that wheel well, and now I can stand up. Luckily, I'm not so tall. And I have a full shower. I have a composting toilet. The shelf, this is a duck that I got when I was a kid from my dad. I've carried it around in all my bathrooms. And that's about it for this room. Over the course of 2 years while I was working on a contract with a client, I designed and researched and measured, and every spare moment I had, I was sitting with my drawing paper. And luckily I have some design background, so it was a really fun project, and I've basically spent about 2 years designing. And then, because of the way things were landing, with this contract ending, my work in New York City was collapsing, my business, because I was away so much. I was traveling overseas with this particular client. My son was graduating college, my apartment lease was expiring, all these things happened at once, and luckily I saw it 2 years out and had this plan in motion. And so when the contract ended mid-July, I had to the end of July to pack up all my things and drive to North Carolina, where the bus was waiting. And I had this incredible crew of Stacy, Jeff, Quentin, and Chris. And we spent a couple months working nonstop, day in, day out on this bus. And I am very happy here. So this is my bedroom. There is a wheel well to deal with when you don't go straight through the bus. When you have a hallway to the side, you end up having to deal with the wheel well. So the way I chose to deal with it is to step up on it. I continued the oak floor throughout, and it gives me a little step into the bedroom where I have more books. I have a couple little nooks where I can put candles or a drink or whatever. And then there are a couple gas pipes I put on the wall to go through the hatch on the ceiling up onto the deck. So up here on the deck, my priority was, I'm a yoga practitioner and I wanted to have a cool spot to practice I mean, like, what better cool spot is this? One of the issues was, though, if I was going to enter or exit from the bedroom, I had to make a hatch that was flat. So we designed this hatch so that I can pull it up like this, and then from the bedroom I can open the inner hatch and climb out. Up here I have 4 solar panels. They each are 320 watts a piece. The front one, I had a little accident on the way here. It shook loose and shattered, so I bought another one, and that's actually 325. That's why it's 1285 instead of an even number. But these are serving me very well. So phase 1 of the build happened in Florida. I bought the bus in Florida, and while it was there I had it painted and had some lights installed where the flashers were, and put new rubber all the way around, and then I also had these, that one's locked. I also had these bins installed. This one I carry my tools in. I carry wood in this one. When when I get to where I'm going, I'll get wood and cut it up. I have a chainsaw in the back for my wood stove, and that's about it right here. So in the back, one of my priorities was to have a garage, and a lot of people refer to their garages. This is mine, and I have my camping gear, my climbing gear. I have more tools. I have my chainsaw in here. I keep extra water in here, an extra propane tank. I have a generator that I can fire up in case the sun goes away for a long time. On this side I have my 4 lithium-ion batteries. The inverter is here. I built shelves and have lots of storage above. I keep my drum back here, and eventually I'll have a tarp that comes off the top, and I'll make a shop out of this area. Up here in the cockpit, as they say, I haven't really changed anything. I've left it pretty much the same driving wise. I put this little tapestry dangling across the front windshield just to keep the sun out and keep it a little cooler up here. Where there is some changes up top here, there's a little kind of where I keep my puja in the yoga tradition. Puja is like an altar, and I was a yoga teacher for 18 years in New York City, so it's something I hold fairly dear. I added a backup camera, and I can use it. It's on all the time while I'm driving. I can turn it off at night because otherwise it'll blind me, but it helps a lot so that I don't run things over and I can see what's going on back there. There's an outlet here to plug in my phone and my UE boom speaker for my navigation. Other than that, that's pretty much all that's going on up here. I have no idea how long I'm going to last. I think that I would like to do it a couple or a few years, and then not sure after that. I do have a plan with my son, kind of like loosely sketched out. He has a degree in environmental biology, and his one of his dreams is to start some kind of sustainable farm. And I have a little building experience, and I could, if we could combine efforts and maybe purchase a small piece of land for him, then I could basically roll onto his land and have a house right available. He could continue with whatever he's working, and I could start, building the farm for him. Well, thank you for taking this tour through my bus, my home. If you'd like to see more, check the link below.